Good evening, webnewsjax subscribers. I apologize yesterday that we weren't able to get a webcast going. We're kind of new to this. I'm kind of new to this, and it's been a struggle. We're going to kind of lay off the music this time. I don't think our sound quality's been very good. I'm not used to really speaking. I'm more apt in writing articles and putting together blogs and building sites. But I think what we're doing is very important here, and I want to keep doing the good work. The first thing that I'd like to cover, the first news subject, is on the Fukushima crisis, and we just posted an article, um, Fukushima cover-up. I believe that the Japanese government is actually covering up the levels of radiation that are coming from Fukushima. They're not giving accurate details, and I'm real suspicious as to what the U.S. government might be covering up of what's actually coming here into the U.S. We've already detected radiation in rain in several states. We've detected it in cow's milk, and I believe in a deer. Um, this is serious stuff. They're low levels, but the way this Fukushima crisis is, going, and the way it has been going, there's no telling how much deadly radioactivity is coming into the United States and how many little particles that we could be breathing and that could be harming our health. This is a major concern, and it's a major concern for our children. So we really need to monitor this situation and keep abreast to it. Um, we wish the Japanese people all the best. I just can't say enough how saddened I am for this tragedy and how these workers that are going on the front lines and trying to, put this tragedy to rest and, stop the nuclear escapage from the plant. They, some of them, from what I'm reading, only have days and hours to live. I mean, the the guy that was running the plant manager, he's already in the hospital, I'm sure, from radiation sickness. A lot of people in the area have been getting sick. Rescuers and shelters and so forth won't even take some of the people in because they're so radioactive. This is just a crisis of a magnitude that's just almost unspeakable. The radiation levels are double what Chernobyl was, from what I'm hearing, and Chernobyl killed over 1 million people. I mean, oh, it's hard to even, get on this and talk with a straight face, with this tragedy. I mean, I just feel for these people so much. They are bringing concrete in, and they're going to pour concrete on this, from what I understand. I think it's something that should have been done sooner than later. Um, from what I understand, since the first explosion on the 14th, they has been a breach. It has been leaking into the water, plutonium, highly toxic radioactive material. Um, it's been getting into the water, the air, going into the jet stream, going into the ocean around the area. The seafood and the marine life is going to be contaminated. I mean, this is really bad. It's something I just don't like to cover, but something that we have to. Moving on. Um, we'll cover a little bit about Libya now. Um, Basically, today the rebels have decided that they'd like a ceasefire. They would just like to, as long as they're allowed to protest in the streets and get ready to rearm, wait for the CIA, to bring in more, or CIA or Al CIA, whatever you want to call them, bring in more weapons so they can rearm and attack. They're good. But right now, the Libyan forces, even though the U.S. and the Allied forces are assisting them in the air, they're getting their butts handed to them. They're getting beat. Most of these fighters, the so-called rebels, are just people that the CIA, put in as insurgents, probably people that have been in Guantanamo Bay and other places. The reports we're getting just aren't good. This is just not a just war. The United States and the banksters and the New World Order has wanted Libya for a long time, and they just can't stand having a country, that has its own sovereign banking system and its own, oil, and that's actually running like a well-oiled machine. Now, granted, I don't think Mr. Gaddafi is a good fellow or somebody you want to sit around and drink beer with. Although former President Jimmy Carter's brother Billy used to hang out with Mr. Gaddafi. I think they drank a lot of beer together and shared a lot of interesting times. Oh, how times have changed. You go from 1 minute to being friends with a guy, and well, 1 decade, I guess it was back in the 70s, to now, we're bombing him into oblivion. And he's done everything he could, to conform to the globalists, but the globalists just want to take over. They want to take over everything, and they're creating these revolutions and all this, to foster this. I know I keep preaching on and on and on, but the truth's the truth. Moving on to another subject, Donald Trump is, really pushing Obama on the birth certificate. And there's a new detail that came out. I'm not sure if I was able to post it on the site or not. I read it on another blog that a military retired brass, I can't remember if he was a general or colonel or something on that manner. Anyway, if you Google it, you'll find out. He was somehow able to get Mr. Obama, or President Obama, whatever you want to call him, Dictator Obama, social security number, and had it sent to his house. And it was really kind of funny because it was issued in Connecticut, not Hawaii. A lot of people say Mr. Obama was a CIA plant. And even more people are saying now, I'm hearing in interviews and everything, that Mr. Obama, might not be totally sane, that he's doing some irrational things and saying some irrational things. That's not for me to call, but some very influential people are. And, he spent millions and millions of dollars to, cover up his birth certificate and his college records. In fact, this is a fact now, not an in fact, but a fact. Mr. Obama's first act as president, was to seal his birth certificate and his college records. Yeah, that was his first official act as president. Now, if you listened to his campaign, you would have thought it was to bring the troops home. But it seems as, he sent more troops and decided to expand the war. War is good. War makes us money. It keeps the globalists going. But it costs the taxpayers and you and me money. It costs us our sons, our daughters, lives, civilian lives. I mean, there's nothing good about war. I haven't even covered, all the citizens that have been killed in Libya. In Tripoli alone, reports are up above 40 civilians killed in airstrikes by U.S. coalition forces. Man, cruise missiles and such. I mean, what is good about war? I mean, Guns N' Roses really put it right. There is no such thing as a civil war, and we don't need a civil war. We don't need any kind of war. We need to pull ourselves out of all these wars. We need to bring our troops home, our sons and daughters home, and we need to look out for ourselves. We need to get a space program going again. We need to get some industry going again. We need to do things that make the U.S., the United States of America, great. Not things that make the world hate us and that are oppressive and play into the hands of the globalists. I mean, we're just a globalist stooge state doing the banksters' bidding, I mean, Congress is so lame, they don't even have the guts to try to impeach Obama. And there's so many things, so many legalities, so many things Obama's done that they could impeach him for. I mean, he makes George Bush look like a saint. I mean, it's just, and people still worship the guy. I was on a site the other night, when they were bringing up the birther thing, and people were just attacking this guy that got this information on Obama and just acted like, he's some prejudiced kind of person. Even Donald Trump, he gets attacked as a prejudiced guy. But, the fact is, we all have laws to obey. If you go driving down the road in your car and you speed or you break the law, you're going to get a ticket. You're going to have to pay for it, if you're caught. Well, Obama's been caught breaking the law several times and with a lot, but, he's kind of like Slicky Dicky, Mr. Clinton, Bill Clinton, you know. He just doesn't seem to ever have to pay for any of his wrongdoings. He just slithers out, and people still think the man is great. The man born in Kenya, the man that lied to all America. Every campaign promise he made was a lie. Furthermore, there's a lot of investigations going on about his Obamacare program. They're finding out he's doing favoritism to a lot of people, with his, well, you don't have to have it, and you do for businesses. And, he found he was using the energy department, giving grants and monies to certain companies that gave him money in his campaign. If you go on another affiliate site of mine called WebPolitico, it's www.webpolitico.com. You'll see an article about this that Mr. Stearns, who's our local congressman here in Florida, he's the head of a committee that investigates wrongdoing. And there's a lot of questions about Mr. Obama and what he's done for the people that financed his campaign. A lot of question about these waivers and the unconstitutionality of his health care plan. I don't want to attack, President Obama. I wish he would have kept all his campaign promises, brought our troops home, stopped the wars, worked on our own economy, worked on our space program. Look at all the resources there on the moon and the other planets that we might be able to use here on Earth. It's amazing. We're explorers. We need to be in space. We need to be exploring space. All of humanity needs to join together and do this. No, we don't even have a space shuttle program anymore. That's being stopped. And the rocket that was supposed to replace it, they cut funding to that. It's unbelievable. But yet, the Pentagon's secret shuttle that goes up and does, I have no idea. It's a stealth shuttle that goes up there and, it's hard to detect. Who knows what it's doing up there, probably getting targets to drop bombs from space on people. I mean, that seems to be what the United States does best, drop bombs on people. I mean, for the past decade, that seems like that's all we do as a nation is drop bombs on people, make enemies, We don't seem to help anybody or do anything positive. And because of this, our economy is imploding. I mean, $600 billion a day this new Libya war costs. And I mean, doggone, we got the Iraq war, the Afghanistan war going along with that. And who knows what else? Who knows what the CIA is involved with around the world? I mean, we have a lot of peril going on, a lot of things going on, and we as Americans really need to think things out, and we need to decide, are we part of the problem, and we're going to let this problem, this Obama administration, just go on? Or are we going to be part of the solution and hold these people in power accountable and listen to sober voices like Rand Paul, Herman Cain, Donald Trump? I mean, there's some sober voices out there. There's some people out there that are talking that make sense. We need to listen to them. We need to get our country back and stop quantum easing 3. Can't have it. Anyway, this is webnewsjax signing off. Good day.